creating an attractive and durable door panel by installing a laminate. I will be applying an attractive laminate surface to enhance the visual appeal and durability of a plain wooden door. This method is an excellent way to add allure to an otherwise ordinary wooden door. To start the process, I need to lightly sand the door's surface to ensure there are no imperfections or irregularities on the door panel. After I lay the laminate upside down on the top of the door, I'll hold it down with a couple of clamps and then sand the surface. I'll use a hard backup pad with 150 grit sandpaper. Sometimes, the laminate has little bumps or blisters from the manufacturing process. It's important to have a smooth surface because even a little bump or uneven surface will show through. Next, I will need to apply the contact adhesive onto the laminate. I will start with the laminate first, as it takes a bit longer to dry. Then, I'll move the laminate onto the bench next to it and apply the glue onto the door panel. Prior to applying the glue, I will lightly sand the door panel and use an air blow gun to remove any dust or chips from it. When I am applying the contact adhesive to the door panel, I make sure to apply a generous amount of adhesive on the wood surface. I prefer to have a heavy coat of adhesive as it tends to seep into the door panel itself, providing added security. In case of any accidental spills or excess glue on the edges, I can easily remove it by using acetone and a quick sanding process. The contact adhesive needs to be completely dry to the touch before applying the pieces together. It should be slightly tacky, but not runny. To prevent the laminate from sticking to the door panel, place strips of wood on the panel before laying the laminate. Ensure that the wood strips do not have any contact adhesive on them. As long as there is no contact adhesive on them, they will not stick to the dry contact adhesive. I have approximately half an inch of overlap along all the edges. Once it is properly aligned, I will lift the end, remove the wooden strips, and carefully press it down. This will prevent any further movement, allowing me to proceed to the other side without much caution. Then, I carefully proceed to roll the laminate over the door panel, ensuring that no bubbles are formed and that it adheres smoothly. This task is not overly complicated, as long as I take my time. To make it more manageable physically, I have fashioned a homemade roller using old skateboard wheels. The roller is attached to a basket filled with steel, weighing approximately 40 pounds. This additional weight provides ample pressure during the rolling process. I make sure to roll the laminate in at least 2 directions, paying close attention to the edges to prevent any accidental sliding or laminate breakage. Sometimes, I even roll diagonally for added adhesion. I finished the edges and the corners by hand because I couldn't get the heavy roller close to the corner. So, I'll make sure to finish that by hand and ensure that the edges are well adhered to. If you take notice, there isn't a marked hole for the lock, which makes things a bit tricky. Since I haven't applied the laminate on the other side, I simply find the center of the lock set hole from below and proceed to drill a hole from the bottom. To simplify matters, I utilize the drill bit as a router, enlarging the hole so that I can later insert the actual router into it. I always begin by trimming the outside of the laminate where the hinges pockets are and where the lock set is. This is because my flush-cut router bit guide bearing is set right below the surface, so I can't cut too deep. Once I've made those cuts, I'll adjust my router bit to go a little deeper and I'll trim the laminate all around the rest of the outside edge of the door. After completing the flush cutting of the laminate, I will proceed to utilize a different router equipped with a tapered router bit in order to create a small tapered edge on the door. Once I have completed the full round and tapered the edge, I will proceed to use an orbital sander again to smooth out the edge. It only requires a gentle sanding to achieve a nice and smooth edge. Here is the detailed tapered edge and the door is now fully finished. There is a small amount of excess glue that I will tidy up by sanding it off. The surface I have created is not only visually appealing but also highly durable.